The digital divide is the gap between people nowadays when it comes to technology. This includes things that might seem commonplace, like internet and computers. But for a lot of people in the world, these are a luxury they can't afford. For this video, we'll be focusing more on the internet aspect of the issue. The graph you see now shows how many people are truly affected by the digital divide. The graph simply shows the percent of people across the world with internet access in both 2009 and 2018. Places like the Middle East had a percent in the 20s, while Africa had a percent in the single digits. Now it's worth mentioning how it has gotten a lot better for just about every place. Yet even the more traditional powerhouses like the Americas and Europe only achieved around 70s in their percents, using the modern 2018 data too. Those percents might seem pretty big overall, but they can still add up to a lot of people. According to the United Nations, 2.9 billion people have never used the internet in their life. So why does it even exist in the first place? There's two reasons why. The first is ruralness. The graph you see on screen now shows how ruralness actually affects internet access. I won't lie, it's not the easiest to read, but the lighter color of each pie chart is the amount of internet access in rural areas versus the darker color being the non-rural areas. Note, this data is from 2019, but according to it, only 50% of people in the rural Americas have internet access, and that feels insanely low. The reason why ruralness has such an effect in the first place is because it's just harder to get out there and set up any internet networks. And plus, with the smaller population and smaller profit margin, because of the ruralness, it's a very low priority for a lot of internet providers in the first place. So what's the other cause? Well, it's poverty. The graph you see now shows internet access across the world through different economic vulnerability groups. Focusing on the world itself, you see, the green bar is the percent of people with internet access while having high economic vulnerability, or another way of saying that is low income. Only 24% of people with high economic vulnerability have internet, while on the other side, over 70% of people with low vulnerability, or high income, have internet access. It makes sense though, when someone is struggling to meet even the most basic needs like food and water, internet and technology wouldn't be high on their immediate priority list. Internet in some places is also really expensive. As you see here, the average cost of internet in America is over $60 a month. Now, some places have it way better, like South Korea, which is just a little less than $20 a month. But that's still a very large amount per month. What are we actually doing to combat this issue? There are a lot of groups trying to help. Government programs exist that pay for people's internet access and for things like routers. There are also organizations that go to third world countries that help set up internet networks for people there that don't have it. The ways an average person could help is just by donating to charities that you can research on your own if you're interested in. People in power could set up bills that give free internet in places like parks and other public places, or reduce the rates of the internet access cost to people with low income, or even allocate different funding to the previous groups that go to third world countries to help set up networks.